This is the Grassroots Education and Entertainment Network, your number one source of information, education, and entertainment. For honest, responsible, and dependable information, we stand supreme. To stay focused, inspired, and relaxed, choose green.
Akabo, and welcome to the Ifagbemiro show. And as usual, we will discuss a topic of interest, one of the fundamental Ifa Orisa issues or topics. All right, before I begin, let me open with the Iba. Openi fun Olorun, Iba Oludumare, Oba Ajiki, Mojiloni, Momogun Meriaye, Iba Ila Orun, Iba Iwo Orun, Iba Ariwa, Iba Gusu, Iba Oba Igbalye, Iba Orun Oke, Iba Baba, Iba Yeye, Iba Atiwon Orun, Ibashe Igungun Kiki Igungun, Ibashe Ori, Ori Inu, Ipori Atiwo Orun, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And for today's stream, I would be continuing on a topic that we started last week, which was the distinction between the Irunmole and Orisa. All right, so this week I'm going to do part 2, which is entitled The Mystery of Odu. And as I've mentioned before, the source for this discourse came from the page that is called Aye Akamara, which is on Facebook, which has quite a range of information. Now, I want to say this. A lot of the stuff that I'm reading are not my personal articles. So the views that are expressed may not be in perfect alignment with mine. But what has happened is I found these articles to be interesting. And I think that these would make up some of the basic issues concerning, Ifa Orisa. And for people, newcomers, and for people who are unfamiliar, these would be very good topics that we could actually start off at. All right. So previously, we briefly considered the distinction between the Irunmole and Orisa. Today, we will consider it a little further, and we will also learn about the sacred mystery of Odu. Irunmoles are divine personalities that entered the world of men and took up a human identity. That is, they lived like ordinary human beings in the physical world. Orisa are very different. They are a different class of divine beings who became deified or divinized through the power transformation after their departure from the physical state. Irunmoles were divine beings of great wisdom and power as the moment of their creation, whereas Orishas were beings who became divinized as a result of the lives they lived. The Orisa became divine by a process of spiritual growth and evolution. Irunmoles have their origin in the divine realm and were chosen in Orun before coming to the world. They descended from the divine upper worlds and dwelled among men, teaching the word of Oludumare, science, agriculture, hunting, farming, and other essential skills needed by humanity. The Irunmoles also instituted the spiritual sciences and introduced them to humanity. The identity of Irunmoles are shrouded in divine mystery, whereas the identity of Orisha are readily known and recorded since they were born upon the earth. To clarify things, let me reiterate. The Irunmoles are divine personalities who were born from Olodumare and have the upper divine realm as their original place of residence, whereas Orishas were born on earth and achieved their divine status through the laws of spiritual progress, training, and effort. Now we will proceed to consider the wondrous source of all powers, intelligences, life, and harmony, which is Odu. The power that created all these entities are from one source called Odu. Odu is like the womb or matrix of creation. Odu is the primordial and eternal mother. Odu is power and the source of all powers, energies, intelligences, and life. This one energy produced and created all things in the world, including the Irunmoles and Orisha. The word Odu is the centerpiece and overall energy that pervades, directs, and controls all things in the universe. Odu is the greatest and most powerful vibration in the cosmos. All things emanate from Odu and are nourished and maintained by Odu. Odu oversees the progress, development, and evolution of physical, spiritual, divine creations. The word Odu comes from the sacred name of the Supreme Being Olodumare. When you break down the word Olodumare into the syllabic word sequences, you get Olo, Odu, Mare. Olo means owner and proprietor. Odu means energy, power, force, and vibration. And Mare or Marere means knowing and doing was or is good or absolute goodness. The power that only and always does what is good, right, and beneficial. You will realize that the word Odu is in the middle of the sacred name of the Supreme Being. Olodumare means the owner of the energy or power or force that knows what is good, does good, and thinks good. The name Olodumare and its meaning reveals to us and reminds us that the good things reminds us the things God wants us to do. Odu is the energy that created all goodness, and such energy must take the form of Olodumare. Out of this unique energy comes all creatures, including Irunmoles, and Orisha. Something you might find interesting about the Irunmoles and Orishas is that they have form or divine bodies with features which we can discern, with which they live among us when they choose to descend. Odu, on the other hand, is a formless entity that does not take up any form or image, but is a concrete energy that creates all things. Odu created you, me, and all things. This energy is the power behind all living and non-living things. Odu is the power that directs all forces at all levels of existence. Oludumare categorizes this energy and breaks it down into 256 sub-energies, which is where all living and non-living things derive their lives and their existence. All things exist and flourish within these energy patterns. Nothing can operate outside these energies, but all things fall within the regulating power and the oversight of these 256 divine intelligences. Remember, double forces. This means that no one can have absolute control over all the power in creation, but we can make use of the forces of creation for the benefit of one's life and the lives of one's progeny. Ifa teaches us through much learning, effort, patience, and practice how to access these divine energies and how to integrate them in our lives upon making contact with Odu. This is why a person of lazy disposition cannot practice Ifa because of constant learning and practice that Ifa demands of its students. What is learned from Ifa is utilized to remove, reshape, and correct the errors in one's life path or one's destiny. Some even see Odu as a destiny in entirety. Such perspective is correct, as God passed the energy onto Urunmila or Ifa, Bara, Agbonirigun, and from Urunmila to all men in the world. Some traditions also believe that Odu came to the world and married Ifa Orunmila. We can see and appreciate then that Odu is the entity that produces all things. Through marriage to Orunmila, the feminine nature of Odu was revealed. Odu assumes a motherly role in relation to all seen and unseen entities. The most important point to remember is that Odu is the energy that produces all things, while Orisha, Irunmole are entities created by Odu. Through the instrumentality of the Orisha and the Imoles, the knowledge of Odu was passed on to all humanity. Those who learn and initiate into Odu are called Awo or Omo Ifa, and those who have not initiated are called Ogberi because the Odu or spiritual DNA in them has not yet been activated. Hence, renew your power or reactivate the indwelling power within you through initiation into Ifa, and you will get your Odu. Then you can pray with your Odu also, or always. The practice and science of praying every day with your Odu give you the power to overcome all of life's challenges. Please pray every day for yourself and others. When you pray for others, you join them to the divine energies. When you pray for others, the divine light and power of Odu enters their hearts, minds, and life in a very subtle but powerful way. Pray with your Ikens and Opele. Please always try to learn something daily about Odu so as to become a true disciple of Olodumare. Also, remember that we can learn together how to pray with Odu and open Opele, which is called Sishe Opele, with our members who might live near us. I will always try to teach Odu once a week. I want you to learn more and go deeper into Odu, right? And then the article went on to say that the author could be contacted. And the author's name, of course, was Oloyinka Babatunde Ogunshina Adiwoye. And of course, he was the source of the information that came from the article I just presented. Okay, and that would close off on the distinction between Irunmole and Orisha. All right, now that's today's lesson. So now I just want to say what I've said on the last two streams, and that is that this network is not a commercially sponsored network, as a result of which we discuss things very freely and liberally. So individuals who might be viewing the stream and who have a desire to know anything as it relates to Ifa and Orisha, please feel free to ask questions. You may write it up in the comment section where we would attempt to maybe discuss it, have it as a topic, or we would attempt to answer any question that you may have as soon as it is possible for us to do so. All right, I would like to invite persons who are interested to the African Indigenous Tradition community. We host meetings every Tuesday where we have Ifa Orisa classes at 5 p.m. each Tuesday at the Barataria Community Center. This is at 6th Avenue, opposite the recreation ground. For persons interested in educating themselves on Ifa, this is whether you initiated or uninitiated. So if you don't know about Ifa and you are interested, you could attend the African Indigenous Tradition community. Not only do we study Ifa, but we study many things along the line of Indigenous tradition. All right. We also have programs just like this one on each Friday, right? At 6:30 p.m. we have the Ifa Orisa community discussion. And on a Sunday at 5 p.m. we have the traditional herbal health show. All right. We also run classes on a Wednesday, virtual classes at 6:30 p.m. We have astrology classes on a Wednesday. And on a Friday at 5 p.m. we have etymology classes for persons who are interested in those subjects. All right. Again, as the lesson I read earlier, it spoke about the importance of education. It is very, very difficult to be a Ifa Orisha devotee if one does not commit time to studying and to acquiring knowledge. Now, in terms of being able to view these streams, we are on quite a few Facebook pages, right, where we use this medium as an opportunity to provide education and information for persons. So if you wish to view this stream or similar streams for any of the programs we have, you can view it on the Grassroot Education and Entertainment Network. You can view it on the Traditional Herbal Health Network International. You can view it on the Ifa Orisa Institute of Sacred and Divine Sciences. You can view also on the Ifa Orisa Tradition Discussion Group of TNT, the Ifa Orisa Community Congress, also on the African Indigenous Tradition Community, on the Orisa Baptist Small and Medium Business Alliance, on the Ifa Orisa Tradition Teaching Group of TNT, on the Ifagbemiro Home of Ifa Tradition, and on YouTube. You could also view these streams on the Ifagbemiro Home of Ifa Orisa Tradition on YouTube. All right. So again, I would encourage you viewers to ask your questions, to write it up in the comment section, as well as view videos, because at the end of this video, other videos would come up, which you could also view. All right. I would like the viewers to like, share, and subscribe to the videos from the network. All right. And with that, I would like to say Odabo until we meet again next week. Bye for now.